Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili Nishmas, Imi Mirosur Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests. A big simcha in the family. Dave Sharfman had a baby boy. 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's here. He set up the booth. Welcome to Mendel Kolodny. Shalom Aleichem from Brooklyn, New York. Also at the Shabbaton. Shkoyach Bachram. I don't know if you want to say your names. You want to say your name? What's your name? Moshe Grossman from? What a chiddush. And you? From? Muncie. Gewaldig. What's your name, Tzadik? Reuven. Schwartz, Shalom Aleichem. You live in the neighborhood, Epis? You just moved from Yerushalayim. Very nice. Welcome. No, from Yerushalayim. Okay, so we have a few males. My voice is not back yet, Rabbi Isai. Maybe a little bit more micro. All right. Here's a short clip of my brother-in-law's Yankee Baum and Mordechai Schwartz learning the daf at the wedding of Yankee's son during the mitzvah dance. So that's a shaila really in the Achronim. Since you're not allowed to learn during Chazor Shats, are you allowed to learn during mitzvah dance? What can be better than combining the simcha of marrying a child with the simcha of Torah? Best regards, your Talmud, Moshe Farber, Muncie, New York. Here it goes. Notice he has the AirPods, he has the smartphone and the shtreimel. This would not fly in Eretz Yisrael.
Mazel Tov Yankee Baum, during his mitzvah dance, sitting and learning about it.
He's really learning. He has the earphones in. This was on Sparks of a Nation. It says like this. Looks like a music tour schedule, something similar, but it's actually the schedule of upcoming MDY Siyumim on Maseches Baba Kama. Klal Yisroel celebrating his journey through the Yama Talmud. So if anybody wants to know where their local Siyum is and when it is, go to mdysiyum.com. Our Siyum for the local or Eretz Yisrael is tonight at 6 o'clock on Nachal Lachish. Something like that. Rabbi Yisrael, if you thought you were my number one fan, you are mistaken. Here he is.
Good morning, Rabbi Eli. Geschmack your daf. My name is from Lakewood, New Jersey. I'm 24. I'm your biggest Chassidus fan. I'm your hosted. And I mean, sweet days from today. Thursday, I'm excited to be forward to see him. The Thursday, I'm going to see him. Besides the Bakama. And I'm your hosted. I'm your fan. And my job to ask you to put in a status to join incredible sector of water, sector of Mitzvah to join in the status. Thank you, Eli. I love you. I can please shout with you. I keep going. I not give up. And you are the best friend ever. And I want to thank all people to join in and your family, mishpacha.
We all love Nusi. Rabbi Sai. Shkoyach. Wow. Beautiful. Listen to him. Put it on your status. I'm sorry to hear that you've not been feeling well. It's just a little cold, Rabbi said. Don't. I want to wish you for shelaima. Also, big Mazel Tov. You know, Einikol, Sachis Shenachas, attach a picture. Show me doing the daf that someone snapped at me. Just I was about to play at a simcha. Really taught us how to cherish every moment. I know you have a special place in your heart for Manchester and your Manchiks. Keep going, Reb Eli. We love and respect you. Love Shimon Sandhouse, Manchester, England. On the way to Hamuka, Cave Reb Yosef Ben Uzil, found my brother Baruch Geffen learning the daf and listening to the Shir of Reb Eli in Hebrew. Boys, I didn't read this email yet. I'll read it with you. This is from R Chaim David. I have to express my huge, yeah. It said huge Hertzel Pinchasi, so I threw it in the last second. So I hope there's no glitches here. I have to express my huge Hertzel Pinchasi to MDY 2 weeks ago. You read out my sister-in-law's email before I started treatment. So many people reached out with good word, brachas, and even offers to help, and most importantly, offering to daven for me. A few days later, you asked Libby before share how I was doing. When I watched it a couple of days later, Yemichizuk, that people care and are interested. The Manchester and London Siyum committees have dedicated both Siyum this month's Shabbos zchus my Refuah. Very grateful to all of them. I don't want to miss anyone out. I'm sure Shimi Leafman, Gershi Rose, Yisrael Kornbluth, and Dov Harris are involved in all the organizing and included. I've learned one thing over the past few weeks. When in doubt, reach out. So many people heard what was going on and sent a message thinking of you or davening for you, Refuah shelaima. One person who I've never met, but had to ask him something, signed off Good Shabbos, Refuah's Vishu, showing that he cares. Supported people like that, it's carrying me through. Some people have sent wishes from afar, even though they can't send in Shabbos for the local people, Agudvart, because they're very far away. Thank you again, wonderful shiurim, allowing my father and Libby their daily wave, which I take part in a day later. Mazel Tov Ahron, then we finish with that. You're also this with feelings of gratitude and appreciation. Since my cotton, Ahron Ben Feiga. Rabbi Eli daven for Ahron Ben Feiga. Should go through the treatments smoothly, and we should hear Psuras Toivos, son of Bernard David, Rosh HaChabura, MDY Manchester, son-in-law of Rabbi Y.Y. Katz and Leiby's brother, Ahron David. Rabbi Eli, the mishpacha is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. Parnas HaChodesh, the last day, by Ahron Fraiman. It should be a zchus to Rav Eli for continued siyadta dishmaya and teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Parnas HaChodesh, Mazal Tov Ahron, Rav Eli, the entire mishpacha of the birth of Sophia Ruth. Parnas HaChodesh, the nishma zechariah ben Moshe, the nishma zechariah bas Yosef. Parnas HaShavua, Fraser family, zchus for shelaima for our mother, Rochel bas Rivka Hennah. Parnas HaShavua, Robert Fraser, in loving memory of Hertzel Pinchasi, Ner Tamid Daf'ers Baltimore, Maryland. So again, if you're new here, Ner Tamid is an unbelievable story. 150 people took upon themselves to start and finish Bava Kama, and they are actually finishing 150 of them. Some of them very, very first time learning Gemara, and it's a tremendous zchus, spearheaded by the one and only official, and we're looking forward, Mama Shader too, and many of them are taking upon themselves to continue with Bava Mitzia. Parnas Hayoim, Koby and Esther Mo, and if not, rethink it because it's life-changing. And I'll tell you this, Emes. For me, Bava Kama was one of the hardest mesechtas. And if you did Bava Kama, you should know Bava Mitzia and the rest of Shas is pretty much smooth sailing. We'll talk about it when we get to Yavamas. But up until then, it's going to be nice and smooth. Shkalim is only 30 days. We can handle it. And we'll make it better next time. Shkalim wasn't. But Bava Kama, I think, is one of the toughest. And it wasn't that tough. It was just very long and okay. Parnas Hayoim, Koby and Esther Moses, and Yitzi and Shendel Leah Rosenberg, Lili Nishmas, Remeir Ben Reb Yosef. The Art of the Month, sponsored by Anonymous for the zchus, for an easy childbirth, his daughter, an healthy baby, Rabbi Eli, literally. We're starting the brand new Masech in 2 days. It's your last, you hear it, and it goes in one ear, goes out the other. I don't understand why there's people like Shimi Leafman. I'm not saying this for his status. I'm saying this because if you look at his status, it's kedai to look at it. Every day, he puts up 10 to 15 different statuses, chidushim. He comes up with himself. He does his own art. He puts in his own word. But there's a status group. You go there, they give you the clips. All you need to do is put it on your status. Click, click, and people join the share. You don't have to make an uncomfortable phone call. It's just automatic. To be mizaki people, what?
Will you post daily as well now?
If somebody gives me something to post, I'll post. Something, yeah. You know, it's not a bad idea. Shimi was telling me, I spoke to him, no, I didn't speak to him. He sent me a message. So I was asking Mati, where's Mati? He's very busy with the Chayalim. So I told him, I said, listen, you have 20 to 30 statuses a day of Chayalim, of you giving gear to Chayalim. I don't see one status of Torah. You got it, at least 10%. Yeah, after I yelled at him. So he told me something very interesting. He said, I have a lot of non-Jewish clients. And what's going on here? What's the status? What's the daf? Chayalim, gear, they understand. It's that. He says, I'm taking it by myself. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. So Shimi told me that this big 6 foot Eino Yehudi says, what are you doing? What is this thing? Who's that guy from Israel that you keep on putting on your stat? What is going on? So anyway. Oh, that's how you're saying that's how you get on it? That's the okay. It's too small, Tzaddik, but I think Yosef will put it on the screen to get to the status group. All right. Rabbi said we're holding my brand new Mishnah or Daf Kufiyut Ches Amud Aleph. Hagoyzos chaveiroi oy shehil ve'imenu oy shehifkid loy b'yishuv. No, we didn't get there. Where are we holding? Oh, really? Okay. I thought we were there. Says the Mishnah. I don't even have art for it. It's another art. Shat fanar. Very small Mishnah. A person he stole a field. Sits in somebody's field, and then comes a storm and knocks out his field, takes over the field. Shat fanar. We know that karka in exelis. You cannot steal karka. So Mela, if because somebody else stole it, that was the whole sugi that was before. But over here, a natural disaster happens. He says, "Aresh chol fanecha." Torah baran goes to sadam chaver shtafanar. Chayiv lahamed lo yisoda acher devi Reb Elazar. Reb Elazar argues in our Mishnah and says, "No, you must give him another field." B'may komifligi. Reb Elazar darish ribuyu miyut umiyuti. Okay, so very, very simple. We're not going to get into the whole sugi of ribuy, miyut, ribuy. Don't worry about it. Just on a very, very simple level. The difference between a ribuy and a miyut and a klal and a prat is a ribuy means I'm including everything, but I'm going to exclude one item only. A klal and prat means I'm going to include everything, I'm going to try, but then I'm going to limit many things. Okay? So the question is, how many things are we limiting? One. Ribuy miyut is we're limiting one. Klal prat we're limiting many. So the question is like this: could you steal a karka or not? Is karka going to be excluded from being stolen? So the question is: are we going to learn a ribuy miyut and we're only going to exclude one item and it's not going to be karka? Therefore, you're free to steal a karka. It's as if you stole it, or no, you cannot steal a karka. What's the ribuy miyut? It says v'kichesh b'amisay. You lied to your friend. You lied also about a karka. You lied about everything. Riba. You lied and you stole any item in the world, even real estate. B'pikadon. It's very, very narrow. No, a pikadon. Miyut. Kol asher yishav alav sheker. Everything. Chazav riba. Riba miyut v'riba. Riba hakol. So this includes every item in the world is stolen. Umay Rabbi call mili. Umay miyut, but we have to exclude one thing because there is a miyut. One thing. What is it? Miyut shtaris. A shtar. Again, same thing. V'kichesh cloud b'kodem prat oy mikol chazav kalal. Cloud prat to cloud. Yata don elakena prat. It's the same words, but we're going to say, is it a limud of cloud prat to cloud? A lot of people say it every morning in the shloishas from Yiddish Torah and Reshbem. Most don't know what they're talking about. Yatsu. Oh, so now we're going to exclude more items. You cannot steal a karka because it's not movable. Yatsu havadim shukshu l'karkais, and also not slaves. Yatsu shtars. There's a list. It's more than one thing. Why? Because from a cloud, rather cloud, we exclude more things. But a shtar you could move around. It has zero value, has zero intrinsic value. A document. Maybe you could put it on top of a jar. You could write a letter on it, but it's nothing. We have a problem. We're talking about a piece of metaltalin. We have the same machloikis in a piece of metaltalin. Why? What's the machlokes? What's the source of machlokes? If you're telling me we're arguing on a piece of real estate, could you steal real estate? Not. Okay. Well, we're talking about a cow. Omer Papa, the cow is real estate. Why? Why is a para revutzaboy? He stole the real estate, and there was a cow on it. Ushtafanar, and then there was a big flood. The Lazar, the Tamei, Rabbanan said. Reb Lazar says you could steal a karka. So therefore, if you could steal a karka, you stole the cow because the cow was on the karka. Rabbanan Tamei, they say you can't steal a karka, so you can't steal a cow. Okay. Before I continue, I see there's a guest there. I didn't see you. Shamali, what's your name? From England. Manj, you obviously know Shimi. He's a. Did he bring you to the shir? No. How? How did you get to the shir? I brought you to the shir. Yeah, of course. Says the Eli Mishnah, sponsored by Moshe Cohen. The zchus, tremendous hatzlach and ruchnis and gashmias. Very gishmak adaf for boys. Hagoyz is chaveroi. Osh yilva imeno. Osh yivkid lo b'yishu. A person stole, borrowed, gave an item to his friend to watch. Let's say he gave him a horse. Okay, watch this horse. So where does he have to give back the horse? Give back in his house, in the farm. What if he decides to give it back like this? Rabbi said to check this out. Givaldik. He happens to be on a plane with him. He says, you know what? I want to give you back my horse, the horse I borrowed from you. Shalom Aleichem. What is he going to do with it now on the whole flight? Sometimes it's a pasnished. Yeah? I just like the way Yoshi gave the horse. Hey, everybody gets a meal. Yankle, your horse mamish was great while I watched him. I'm returning him now. Enjoy. Or there's another case. You tell me which one you like better. Two Yerushalmis. The Yerushalmi went to America to collect money. And he meets his friend in downtown Manhattan. He says, the goldfish I was watching, here, I want to give it back to you. So that's the schlep. Wherever he goes, he's schlepping a goldfish. It's a pasnished. So Rabbi say, A or B? Which one? Huh? A? All right, good. I'm going to ask Losis Bamidbar. No, Yoshi did this thing. I said, no, we got to. To me, it's a horse on a plane. Why? I don't know. It's like the most random thing. Also, this guy American Daf Yomi. Oh, here he goes. Thank you so much for watching my goldfish. Was in America. Pleasure. Okay, fine. Don't just give it back. If he says on condition I give you back in the middle of the desert, okay, so you can give it back. Now the Gemara is going to ask, what's the chiddush? You can make any condition you want. Almanas, you give it back in America. Almanas, you give it back in Israel. Almanas, in the midbar. So you're going to see it's not as pashut as you read it. Ask Gemara Viraminu milva mishnalem is b'chol makom. Stop. Over here, it's a contradiction to what we said. We said a milva, if you borrow money, you have to give it back in his house. You can't give it back in the middle of the desert. Over here it says mishnalem is b'chol makom. Give it back anywhere. Okay, so that matches our Mishnah. But the first part, the milva, is a problem. It doesn't mean you can give it back in every place. You can demand it. You could say, hey, it's a big chiddush. Let's say when we were on the safari, right? Remember, I just keep on going back to the safari. Me and my chaverim, they took me on the safari for my 50th birthday. Middle of the safari, I say, hey, Mendy, I lent you $100. Give it back to me. Can I do that? Middle of the safari. The answer is yes. He's not going to have any money left. Then no. You're right. No. You can't just leave him. But I have the right to say, $100, what's the difference if it's in Bet Shemesh or in... So that I need money now. Give me back my money. It's a chiddush. I can be teveyu. I can demand any place. But if I lost object or I gave you something, so that is only where we made the deal, where the object was lost. That's it. You can't just shalom aleichem. Oh, by the way, I found your dog, and we happen to be in the middle of a chasana. I'm going to give you back. It doesn't. Some things don't work. I'm going to ask. Let's say it's by midbar. Pshita. If I make a condition that you can pay it back in the desert, great. I'm giving you this golden thing. What?
It's a little counterintuitive, right?
Why?
Because I find that in Veda I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah.
And I'm returning it to you, and now you're putting conditions on me and how I return it to you.
Yeah. Don't give it back in an uncomfortable position. You're a shomer. There's a lot of things that you're a shomer. You got to take care of it. You can't just throw it on me because you feel it. Yeah. It has to be with common sense and this and that. You wouldn't be very appreciative if somebody returned something to you when under your son's chuppah, right? Just got to be a mensch. There's rules. You're right. He's doing you a favor. He found it, but not. Oh, so he says, "Listen, I'm going on a trip. I'm going out to the desert. Please take care of this expensive item." Okay, great. You. Oh, you're not going to believe it. I know. I was mamish planning a trip to the desert. The bottom line of the Gemara's answer here is, any way you want to understand it, and any way you gears it with Rashi, different girsa, the point is there's no t'nai. Gemara's question was, if you made a condition, the Gemara's answer is, there is no condition. He said, it happens to be, I might be going also, I might return it. Not that I have to return it. Could I return it? Do you agree that I should return it? There's no condition. And therefore, the chiddush is that you could give it back because the owner knows that he's going to be there in the desert, and there's a possibility that he might give it back. So then, he can give it back. Says the Eli Mishnah, again, sponsored by Moshe Cohen, zchus, hatzlacha parnosa, and ruchnius. Rabbi said this is not yet to a lot of us. A person steals when he's younger. He did something wrong, he stole. Stealing can be a lot of different things. Yeah, it could be literally going to somebody's pocket. Maybe, I don't know what, you took his parking spot. You woke him up in the middle of the night. If that's, something that you could return or not. You stole something from somebody. And now you feel bad and you want to return it. What do you have to do to return it? Do you have to embarrass yourself and knock on his door and say, listen, I was silly and I took $100 out of your wallet? Or you could slip it in there without him knowing. Like, what do you need to do? I stole from you. Hilvasani, you gave me a loan once. You left the item by me. So the first part of the Mishnah, just to be familiar with it, on the right, is I stole from you. I don't know if I returned it. I'm sure that I stole. I'm sure that I took an item. So I'm a bari. I'm clear as day that this is what happened. I'm not sure. It's possible I returned, possible not. He must return. We've seen the Gemara. It might not be as much as we think. It could be he's only chayiv to be yotzi dishmaya. Okay. Chayiv l'shal. I'm not sure. I'm a shema. I don't know. So that's the second part of the Mishnah in green. Potter. Potter l'shal. So when you have a tainas bari, your own tainas bari, so everybody agrees that in order to be yotze, we're going to see yotze deishamayim, that you chayiv to give back. A tainas bari of somebody else, if somebody else says, hey, you stole from me, and you say, I don't know, what should happen? It's bari v'shama. But it's bari enough to be mechayiv you money. But I don't know. I'm saying, listen, you might be right. You might be right. I don't know. There's something very strong here. You say, I know I lent you money. You don't say, I don't know who you are. It never happened. I would have remembered. You say, you know what? I don't remember. I don't recall. Yeah, in American courts. I don't recall. What does that mean? Yes or no? You're 100%, I don't know. So maybe there's a taina there. So we'll see. That is machlokes. Itma. Monali biyata. Very famous line in Shas. Monali biyata. What does it mean? You owe me money. I gave you 100. It's in your hands. You owe me 100. I don't know. Rav Huna Rav Yuda Amri Chayav. Two man Amrim, two Amroim say you're Chayav. Rav Nachman Rav Yochanan Amri Potter. The other two Amroim say you're Potter. Rav Huna Rav Yuda Amri Chayav Bari V'Shema Bari Adit. We have a concept in Shas when somebody is certain and the other one is not certain. The one that's certain wins. I said the story, I'll say it again, because I don't have too many stories today. When I learned in Rehovot in Yeshiva Ketana, I was about 11 or 12 years old, and Rav Shach would come and give us a faher. Well, he only did it once. He would come to the yeshiva every year. Now they said he's coming on Sunday. So the whole yeshiva is preparing for a whole week. So kids, he didn't show up Sunday. So they prepare, they do chazar for another week. Eventually he showed up. I don't remember. In my mind, it's like a month. Okay, he shows up. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole thing, how I told all my friends that I'm his best friend. I see him every month of Shabbos and he's going to recognize me. And yeah, sure. No, he's my best friend. He's always this. And my father learns with him Chavrusa every month of Shabbos. Kitzer. He shows up to the yeshiva and everybody's pushing and this. And I go over to the yeshiva and he goes, Like he had no idea where I was. And everyone's like, Kitzer. So then he starts to share and he starts asking questions in Yiddish. And nobody understands Yiddish besides me. I'm the only one that was American. I knew Yiddish. So the little that I know, I answered. But one of the questions that he asked was, if Bari and Shema, Bari Adif, Bari and Shema, somebody is certain, somebody is not certain, the one that's Bari, the certain, he wins. The question is, the one that's Shema could have lied. And he could have said, I'm a Bari. So you should have a Migui. We should believe him, what he's saying. Because he could have said that he's a Bari. So I answered him, but the truth is, I knew the answer because somebody else told me the question once before. Even the Rosh might have prepared us. And so I told him the answer. Oh, Givaldik. The answer is very simple. It's a trick question. The answer is we do believe him. We believe him that he's a Shema. He said, Shema. We believe you. You're a Shema because he could have said, you're a Bari. So we believe you that you're Shema. But guess what? Bari and a Shema, Bari wins. Okay. So, Oikima Moina Becheskas Mare. Bari v'Shema Bari Adif. Rav Yochanan Potter. Why? Oikima Moina Becheskas Mare. There's something called a cheskas mammon, a chazaka of mammon, and that is that the person is holding on to the money, like you were saying. It's my money. You're saying you're certain. Okay, so but bring proof. Just because you're so confident and I'm not confident doesn't mean that you should take my money. Tanan. It says in our Mishnah. Go back over here. Why not? It says before in the Mishnah. One case is, I don't know if I stole. I don't know if I borrowed. Potter. By the way, Rashi says, Potter, don't think you're so Potter. You are chayiv a shvuah. You Potter be chayiv a shvuah says this. Says the Gemara Chidani. What does it mean? You say, excuse me. You say you lent me money. I say, I don't remember. I'm Potter. Nobody asked him for anything. So then the two cases, the Reish and the Seiv have to be similar. So when a guy says, I stole from you, I don't know if I returned, means that he came on his own. Nobody asked him anything. Nobody told him that he stole. He himself volunteered. He on his own came forward. Am I chayiv? If a guy says, I might have stolen, I don't know if I stole, so why should he pay? Nobody sued him. So if the Reish is talking about that somebody told him, hey, you stole from me, I lent you money, and he says, okay, you're right, I'm asking 100% you're right, but I might have paid you back. I might. And in that case, you're chayiv. But if he says, and the safe is, if he says, I don't agree that I stole, I might have, but I don't know, then you potter. If you agree that the story happened, just you don't know if you took action, you paid it back, then you're chayiv. So, we're talking about a case where he sued him. And it says in the Sefer that you potter. So this is a kash, and everybody says that you're chayiv. So, Mefurish, somebody sued you, and you say, I'm a shema, I don't know, and the Mishnah says potter. So, bari v'shema, potter. Loi. Nobody sued him. So if you look at the Reisha, nobody sued him. He on his own was having guilty conscience. He became more mature. He wants to be a better person. He wants to do tshuva. And he's starting to do a cheshbon nefesh. He's going back. When I was 15 years old, I went by a store and I shoplifted this and I did this and I did that. I have to start paying back people. Now, I was 15 years old. Now I'm 55. I don't remember. Did I pay back? I remember I once wanted to. I don't know. So what should he do? The answer is, if you want to make sure that everything is okay in Shemayim, pay back. But nobody's suing you. Do your own thing. What if, let me ask you something. What if a person is not sure if he stole? Not sure. He wanted to steal. He's not sure if he was stolen. He wants to do tshuva. So that's the Nakuda over here. Over here, there was a bari that he stole. He's not sure if he paid back, but to have nervin, it could be I stole, it could be I took extra toilet paper, it could be this or that. You don't have to make yourself a sugar for that. When you know you stole, just you're not sure that you gave it back, then to be yotzi dei shemayim, you have to give it back. It means that
in the Sefer, it would be Potter of Filibidation.
Yep.
The Potter is a Filibidation.
Of course, because he says, I don't know that I stole. That's exactly what I just said. When there's no bari on the stealing, that's what I'm saying. There's no bari on the stealing. It's like, I don't know. It's possible. I was a wild kid. I might have. That's not enough. In order to be yotzi dei shemayim, to have a chiyuv to be yotzi dei shemayim, you have to remember a story where you stole. This is mamish before. Somebody claims money. When is he chayev? When he wants to be yotzi, when the guy says, hey, you owe me money, and you say you don't know, you don't really have to pay him back. But if you want to be yotzi dei shemayim, you chayev. Says the Eli Mishnah Spencer by Moshe Cohen, the zchus ruchnis and gashmias. Person steals a sheep and he gives it right back, puts it in there. Yotzer na yotzer. Tremendous chiddush. He steals the sheep. One sheep goes missing, one sheep goes back. So he didn't do anything. Nothing wrong, right? No. But since you didn't notify the owner, so you're still chay b'achrayis. It's not considered that you gave it back until he knows about it. Oh, that's exactly what we're talking about. Did he know it's stolen or not? That's exactly the mission. There's two parts of the mission. One part he knew it was stolen, one part he didn't know it was stolen. So, it's a long chart. It's a big chart, and it's not that important, this chart. We'll use it a little bit. You don't have to memorize it or anything like that. It goes like this. This is the case we just read. Yada. He knew it was stolen. The guy knew it was stolen. What do you do? According to Rav, you have to notify the guy. Hey, it was stolen, here it is, it's back. Shmuel, Rivka, and Rav Chisda all say, three of them say, that if the guy counts it, and he sees that the count is the same, he had 25 sheep, and now he has 25 sheep, you don't have to notify him that it was stolen. Now he knows to take care of his sheep. The point of notifying that it was stolen is that the guy should be aware and take care of it. That's Yada. Now, what's interesting, why is there four shittas? Because there's a mix here. If you stick in the Lo Yada, he never knew it was stolen. So look what happens here. Reb Elchanan says, you don't need to notify him at all. That's great. He never knew it was stolen. He never knew I put it back. Nothing happened. Boom. Why do I have to tell him? Nothing changed in his mind. Rav Chisda is the extreme, and he says no. When a person doesn't know, because he doesn't know, you have to notify him. It's only when he knows that you don't have to notify him, let him count. And we pass him like Rav Chisda. Okay. So you see how it goes. Shmuel is of the opinion, in all cases, Yada, Lo Yada, counting is enough. And Rav is the exact opposite of Rav Chisda. Rav says, when he knows, you have to notify. When he doesn't know, let him count. Rav Chisda says, when he knows, count. When he doesn't know, tell him. Okay. Says the Mishnah. Lo Yadu, second case is, he never knew that it was stolen. The guy has 10,000 sheep in Texas. You stole one. You think he's going to know? So you don't have to tell him. Just put it right back in Shalom Yisrael. Didn't know that it was stolen, didn't know it was returned. Oh, Manos Atzayin, and they counted the sheep. Shelaima, and everything is perfect. The count is great. Potter. Omarav. Ladas, Tzarach Das. So now we look at the chart. In the ratio, when he knew that it was stolen, the only way to get out of it and be Potter is to notify him. Hey, I'm returning it. Shloi Ladas, but if he never knew about it, we go to the lighter thing. Minyan Poiter. If we know the owner counted, it's great. Oh, so now the Mishnah says Umanos Atzayin. Let's stick this in. Stam to mix up. Now the chart is going to be really messy. Umanos Atzayin. So the way I had it done is all the purples are purple. In other words, we're talking about where did he count? Who? In what case did the guy count? In the case that he knew or the case that he didn't know? So let's take Rav. We're holding by Rav now. Rav says he counted when he didn't know. Didn't know and he counted, that's enough. For Chazar. So when the Mishnah says umanus atzayin, it's talking about leyada, the sefer. Shmuel, on the other hand, says both cases is talking about that he counted. So when the Mishnah says umanus atzayin, it's going on both. If the purple is in the ratio, so umanus atzayin is talking about the ratio. That's it. Very simple, but we don't need a chart like this. I showed it to my chavrusa, and he almost fell off his chair. He says, too confusing. Okay. Thank you. I mean, because if it's broken down slowly, if you see it in one shot, then it's too many words. Okay. As you can see here, Shmuel's of the opinion that all you need is the guy to count. You don't need to embarrass yourself and tell him, hey, I stole, it's back. If you see him counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gets to the amount, that's all you need. So then when the Mishnah says umanu shelaima patur akula, it's talking about both cases. He's counting. When he knows about it, the owner knows that it was stolen. All he needs to do is count. If he doesn't know about it, says Rivka Hennah, you don't have to tell him at all. What's the point? He doesn't know it was stolen. He doesn't know who gave it back. Everything is the same.
I would even add the word umanus atzayin. That's the point.
Well, umanus atzayin is on the ratio though.
So on the chart, I would add in the box of umanus atzayin the word pater, because that's the point. When you
Potter.
pater,
I hear. Okay. Confused Olam even more. Fine. No, you're right. The point is the minion is poiter. It's a chiddush that just counting is enough. That's the whole thing. When is counting enough? When is counting enough? According to Reb Elchanan, where it says minion, it's on the ratio. And you see there's a lamed over here, there's a tzion to the Shulchan Aruch. This is how we pass it. Ladas minion poiter. When ladas, if the person knew that it was stolen, then it's enough for him just to count, and that's enough. Shelaima, when he never knew, he's literally very extreme. This is the exact opposite of Reb Elchanan. Sarach das. I'm sorry. Shelaima das, sarach das. When he didn't know, you need to notify him. When it says that he counted, it's enough. A ratio. That's only on the ratio. We have to understand Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda is like the most extreme from everybody when it comes to loyada. In the loyada, he's by the time of the Rav Chisda. And also because Rava holds that Allah is like Rav Chisda. Let's understand the reason. So the Gemara oil anakto nagre brayasa. Here's a If an animal knows, here, check out this video. If an animal tastes freedom, so he's going to go for that freedom again and again and again. If he's locked up and he's if he knows how to, if he's a behaved animal, he stays inside, great. He doesn't stay inside. You taught him how to leave, how to be a bad animal. So now it's your problem. You're going to bring him back. Now the guy doesn't know how to deal with him. So you have to tell him. He doesn't know how to watch over him. So it happens to be, it's not like we learned this, that an animal that eats fruit, he gets used to fruit. An animal that kills a human being in a safari, even something as beautiful as this, that's a picture I took. I take a lot of pride in this picture. It's Ikar Metzias. Until you see one of these, it could take 3 days. But if it attacks a human being, the halacha is they kill him right away. Why? Because once he tastes that flavor of human being, he'll go after human being every time. He'll see how easy it is. And it's not bad. It's pretty good meat. So you got to get rid of him. So the point is, once an animal gets used to something, it's going to follow that thing. So Memela, you have to tell the owner how to watch him. You have to notify him. You have to pick up your game because I messed you up. I took him out. We just turned to Daf Amud Beis, sponsored by Kidnovations LLC in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and his zchus for Akiva Simcha Ben Feiga. Says the Gemara, did Rav really say that Allah is like Reb Elchanan? He comes to explain Rav Chisda. Here we have a picture even. A guy picks up a sheep and starts running. But he got caught red-handed. So the owner screams, hey, what are you doing? So he drops it. Now it's unknown whether or not it was returned or not. The money. So you see over here, even though he counted, he's still responsible. Why is he responsible? He counted. According to Rav Chisda, counting is enough. He knew, right? Again, let's go back to this case, to this chart. In a case where you know, because he saw him lifting it up, he saw him stealing. So it's a case of Yoda. Let's go down to the bottom of Rav Chisda. Rav Chisda says counting is enough. Over here it says even putting down the sheep and running away is not enough. He's still chayav achrayis. Why not? Didn't he count it? Delay money. So it's classic Gemara. No, you're not forced in anything. It's very possible that he didn't count. Says Gemara, let's go back to this chart. What does Rav say? Rav says when the guy knows that something's stolen, you must notify him. When he doesn't know, then counting is enough. As Gemara, if you just return it to the pen in the middle of the desert, that's enough. You don't need das. You tell me Rav says they need das. Rav didn't even say that. Rav says you can just put it back in the pen. This is the best picture I found. I just took it from Yoshi. If you have a sheep that looks like this, imagine you have one sheep that looks like this. So you notice right away when it's gone, and you'll notice when it comes back. You'll chop right away. Oh, here's the funny looking sheep. It has black lines. It has red. It's very noticeable. So Mela, it's like being notified. So perhaps it's a machlokes tanoi. Somebody steals a sheep, or he steals money out of your pocket, out of your wallet. Unbelievable. You feel bad. You feel stupid. You don't want to knock on the guy's shoulder and say, "Hey, I stole $100 from you." You're a good pickpocketer. You just pickpocket his wallet again, put the money back in, slip it back in his pocket. Nothing happened, right? Not true. You have to notify the guy. Why? Because he's not going to know to watch his money now. So where's the svara? Because we have the famous Rabbi Yitzchak that everybody knows, right? When you drop money, say goodbye to it. When you find money in the street, you can take it. You probably don't have to put up a sign anywhere, unless it has certain siman or whatever. But typically you find a $100 bill on the floor. That's it. Why? Because of this Rabbi Yitzchak. It's normal for a person to constantly check his pocket, and he'll notice that the money is gone. Reb Zalman Velazhin, learned by the Gaon, he chazered a certain Masechta dozens and dozens of times. One time, they saw him chazering the Masechta again. I said, what's going on? It says in the Gemara, if you chazer, repeat a Masechta 40 times, it's kemunach bekufsa. It's like it's in a box. There's no need to chazer again. He said, look, there's a Gemara in Bava Kama, Daf Kuf Yud Ches, it says that all the masil mashmish b'kiz b'chol shah. That means that even a box, if you check your own pocket, you're checking your own pocket. Oh, it didn't fall out of my pocket. It's in my pocket. No, it might have fallen out. It might have got lost. So too, when you have something in a box, you have to check the box. Not every day, but once in a while, you got to check, make sure it's still in there. So too, when learning. Yes, I learned it 40 times. I have to make sure I still have it. So, all the most of the master kids b'chol shavasha. My love, bakim ifligi. What's my close to Rishmal and Rekiva? The man do amar yotza savar minyan poiter. Uman do amar lo yotza savar minyan in a poiter. So we all hold that a person is going to check his pocket. He's going to count his money, but the man that says that all you have to do is give back. You don't have to be moidia. You don't have to notify him. Counting is enough. Akiva says no, you have to notify him. Counting is not enough. Amri, you're right. If everybody holds that also the mashmish person is going to check his wallet every few minutes, no, that goof is the machlokes. Do we hold the Rabbi Yitzchak? Maris to the Rabbi Yitzchak, or less to the Rabbi Yitzchak? Perhaps the machlokes is you can't prove anything. What the machlokes is? Maybe the machlokes is do we hold the Rabbi Yitzchak or not? That a person constantly checks his pocket. I did? Where?
The second wide line. My lab.
Oh, all the way there. Yeah. Oh, come on, you guys had to pick that up. Yeah. We're running late over here. My lab sela ledas. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So let's go back to the chart. So my love besela ledas the Rav Shmuel. So we have a case of a person stole money. The owner knows, If the owner knows, so we go to the right column, and we have a machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Rav says you have to notify, you need das. Shmuel says you don't have to notify, you just have to count. Great. Bitala, and if it's talking about a sheep, shaloi das, we're going to go to the second column. He didn't know. Now we have a machlokes Reb Yochanan and Rav Chizda. Reb Yochanan says you don't have to notify at all, and Rav Chizda says you have to notify. Omer, I was with the Rava. When the shomer stole it out of the owner's possession, okay, great. Everybody holds like Rav Chizda, you have to notify. Unbelievable. But boys, the thing about this far. You asked me to watch this thing. Okay, so I'm watching it. Then I steal it. Now I feel bad. So I put it back. Is that okay? The owner never knew that he stole it. The owner asked me to watch it, so I'm watching it. Then while I'm watching, I steal it. While I'm watching, I put it back. Then the owner knocks on my door. Hey, can I have it back? I'll just give it back to him. Why do I have to tell him? Hey, by the way, while I was watching it, I also stole it. Stop, to embarrass myself. So Akiva says yes. Why? It's a very gishmak shayla. When I steal it, I broke my shmira. I'm not a shomer anymore. So when I put it back, now it starts over. Now I have to notify him. It's not like one long shmira. It's over. Once you steal it, that's it. The shmira is finished. No, he continued being a shomer the entire time, and it just returns it to where it was, and the owner doesn't need to know that he stole it. Says this, I personally can relate to this. Not that I have it to me, but I can see a person steals something, right? He goes to the store, he steals, he steals candy when he's a kid. Now he wants to pay the guy back. So what does he do? He goes back to the store and he buys candy from the guy, and he leaves the change over there and runs out. So he paid back for the candy. He doesn't have to embarrass himself. Why does he have to tell the guy, hey, when I was a kid, I was a ganav, I was a terrible person, blah, 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 blah. Go through the whole trauma again. He slips him a $100 bill, pretends that it was a mistake, and gets out of there. Is that okay? Says Rashi because he's embarrassed. He's mizbaish. So we have a machlokes here. Yotze, not yotze. Everybody holds of the svara that you're going to check your pockets. It's enough that the guy checked. He realized how much money he has. He has extra money now. He realized, okay, the guy's paying me back for something else. Counting is not enough. He'll never realize. No, if you hold like Reb Yitzchak, great. That goof is the machlokes. Are you poiter or not? Because the shaila is, are you going to check your pocket or not? Do we hold of this? And do people check their pockets? That's goof of the machlokes. Everybody does hold you check your pockets. He counted it and gave it in his pocket. So if he gives it in his pocket, everybody holds like Reb Yitzchak that what? You're going to check your pocket. And this is interesting. He counted, put it in his hand. Something that's in your hand, you're not going to count. Why? You're going to take it. You have a bunch of money in your hand. When you get home, you dump it in that little box that you have of money. But you never knew that you got extra money. If you say no, you put it in his pocket. And you do check your pocket. But since you have other money in your pocket, which you don't know how much it is, so even if you check and count, you don't know that you have extra money. Now he counts it, and now he realizes that you gave him back that money. Says the Mishnah. I think this is a very important halacha that if we just came for this halacha alone to make this halacha clear. A lot of people don't know this. There are places you could go and you could buy stolen goods. It's known. This guy sells you car parts, stolen car parts. Yeah, you're missing a mirror. You call the guy up. Hey, I need a mirror. What is he going to do? He's going to go down the block, find the car exactly 2 a.m, take the mirror and give it to you. Mutter aser. It's 100% aser. Aser. Shulchan Aruch says, avoynei gadol. But I didn't steal it. You're supporting a ganav because of you people like that steal, and that's it. Aser. So it says like this. Sponsored by Moshe Cohen, big zchus for tremendous limud Torah and Yiddishkeit, and also tremendous success in Parnasa. We actually have a shtickle picture here. This is a shepherd. He's selling the wool, smaller goats. Where did he get the stuff from, Rabbi Isai? His balabas gave him a bunch of goats. Now he's trying to make a profit on the side. You're not allowed to buy from him. People that watch trees, you can't buy wood and fruit because obviously they got it from the orchard that's not theirs. A married woman. So this happens a lot. I've heard this a number of times. Interesting thing. Lamashal, you borrow a car from a lady. You borrow a car, and she tells you, "Don't tell my husband. Don't tell my husband." Yeah, this is something like that. You ever heard that? I'm giving you this. Don't tell my husband. Hey, I'm giving you a donation. Here, a donation for your yeshiva. Don't tell my husband. What happened there? If it's her husband's money, if it's her husband's car, she doesn't have the right to do that. It's gneva. In general, her husband says, you can use my stuff and this and that, most marriages, yeah? But if she tells you straight out, don't tell him, that means he's not allowed to know about it. That means she's stealing from him. Okay, I'm saying each couple and each this and each matzav, I get it. I'm saying a general rule. So, what?
She's saying, don't tell my husband.
That is the right.
Right. That is the right. As soon as she says, don't tell my husband. And if her husband says, don't tell my wife, it's her car, she got a nichsim belug, don't tell her, fine. Says, you're allowed to purchase from a woman who's selling the side of the street different clothing that her husband knows about, he doesn't care, and smaller animals, but if a woman says, don't tell my husband, also. That's the biggest, it happens to be in a lot of foilish shtick deals. As soon as you hear from the guy, don't talk this over with your children, don't discuss it with your parents, anything like that, you run. Stay away. That means there's something wrong here. When somebody says, don't tell somebody, it's bad news. They tell little kids now. That's like the first thing. As soon as a Rebbe or somebody says, you're not allowed to tell your parents, you have to keep this a secret, that's when you run home and you tell your parents the first thing. Okay, anyway. It says in Torah about it. Eggs are cheap, and cheap. So that doesn't make a difference. I'll tell you this joke that I told the Israelis, they appreciate it a lot. Americans are not going to appreciate it as much. I'll say it regardless. Because we're already talking about Yerushalmis. There's a Yerushalmi guy on Erev Tisha B'Av. He was eating the egg with the ashes, and he's crying like a baby, crying. His wife saw him being misabel on the Beis Hamikdash, like this. She said, what's the matter? He says, this is my last egg from the chalukah that I got on Erev Pesach, all the eggs, all the stuff they gave out, Erev Pesach. This is the last one. So the Olam doesn't know what a chalukah is. They don't realize where Pesach is compared to Tisha B'Av. Okay. We're allowed to make fun of Yerushalmi. We live with them. They come down with shir. We're all part of them. It's a different matter. So, you're not allowed to buy from a shepherd, a sheep, a goat, wool. Not larger pieces. They take off slowly from the goat, from the sheep. Something already made, you're allowed to take. Why? Interesting chidush. They were koinet be shinoi. He's a ganav, so it's already his. Okay, you can buy. If there's cheese and milk, now who owns the milk and cheese? It's the middle of the desert. Shouldn't the owner own it? But here's the thing: he never gives it to the owner because it's too far away. So the owner is moichel. The owner says that's part of your compensation. You get the chalav. V'loi b'yishuv. But when it's close by, where the owner is going to pick up the milk, or he'll deliver the milk and the cheese, then you're not allowed to buy from him. So here it gets interesting. Pay attention. You're allowed to buy 4 or 5 sheep. So anytime the Gemara says 4 or 5 is a problem. If 4, of course I could buy 5. Mashma 2 not, 3 yes. I was saying you always said 4 yes, 3 not. Okay, classic kasha. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, and this we have to remember, maybe for tomorrow, I don't know if we'll get there. Depends. If it's domesticated animals, you're allowed to purchase from. But the ones that grow up in the desert, I couldn't find a better picture. I don't know. I just threw this in because it's kishmak. In Eretz Yisrael, you see this by Engedi. They roam around. These are not sheep. These are more like goats. Ibex. But they're They're wild and they're, thank you, tour guide, Raki, Shkoyach. Do they have wild sheep in Eretz Yisrael? I don't know what that is. Ranger sheep, whatever you want to call them. You have animals that just roam freely, they grow. But that is far out from the Yishuv. And let's say you took control of these ibexes and you put them in a thing. So, but there's a whole conversation going on here between the back and the front. You want to, what's going on? Nothing. Okay, great. You can't purchase these ibexes or whatever, these sheep. If the owner is going to notice a difference, you took 4 or 5, obviously he's going to notice. Then you're allowed to purchase, he's not stealing. But if it's something small, he's not going to realize, 4, 5. 4, so certainly 5. If the whole, what's the word? The whole flock, thank you. The whole flock is 5, they're allowed to take 4. Because the guy's going to say, hey, what happened to my flock? Okay, 1 or 2, maybe a wolf came, maybe this, maybe that, somebody. But 4 out of 5, okay, this is a little harder to understand. I think this one is easier. Some say Rav Chizda said different. Arba made their cotton. If you have a small flock, then 4. You have, some people in Texas have hundreds of thousands of animals. So it has to be, I don't know what a large flock is and a small flock, but the point is, if it's noticeable that the owner will notice, then you're allowed to purchase. If it's not, let's just go to the 2 dots. 4 or 5 you're allowed to. Seems you're not allowed to buy 3. Why? Because 3 is too few. It's not, he won't notice. What about the seifa? You can't buy 2. 3 you could. So 3 you could or you can't. Which one is it? Like Ash. If they're strong, so 3 are noticeable. 4, you don't have to come to 4. If they're very weak, then you need 4 to be noticeable. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.